What's going on, everybody? This is Extra Gravy. You can call me Diarrhea because I run shit. Call me Swivel Sweeper because I stay dusting that ass. I'm playing a little bit of Call of Duty Blackout. We've been living under a rock. This is Call of Duty's version of Battle Royale. And just first thing off the top, the game itself is a lot of fun. And, I guess I'm impressed with it, obviously. I kind of knew what to expect going into the beta because I had seen people playing it on PS4, so I kind of knew what to expect. But overall, I think they did a really good job. A lot of people were expecting it to be, clunky, or expecting it not to run good, or expecting the map to be bad, or the map to be too small, or, a whole bunch of things. It was just getting a lot of doubt, a lot of hate before it even came out. Because, Call of Duty's never done something like this, so, they've never done something like this, they don't know what they're doing, kind of thing. But I think they proved a lot of people wrong, and I think it's a lot of fun. Aside from the people who play like homos and sit in bushes and shit, but I won't get into that. But aside from that, I don't think there's many things wrong with the game, as far as they can control. But I'll go down some of the, and this is just some couple engagements, couple pieces of gameplay that I've had over the weekend. But a couple of things I like and a few things that I don't like. Most of it is good, honestly. But the gunplay, it's just like Call of Duty. It's just, it's what we're used to. It hasn't changed. It's not any different. Comparing to PUBG, where the character feels like he's 400 pounds. Moving left and right, and it's just hard because it's no auto aim on PUBG. In my opinion, if you're not looking for like a military simulation, battle royale, there's really no reason for you to play PUBG at this point. And I'm not hating on it. I personally think it's not great because it's just clunky and everything takes forever. It's like how I feel about Battlefield. The characters, just movement, and the engine itself, I just don't like the fluidity of it. And that's what I love about Call of Duty, is the fluidity and the smoothness of it. With this, you can run over stuff, picking up stuff. You don't even really have to stop. You can do it really quickly. A lot of people are saying that you can't, but all you have to do is walk over the item, and if you're holding X, you pretty much pick it up. Now, there's one thing about the looting that, I would try and adjust a little bit, but as far as the looting, I think, and the looting, the gameplay, the healing, everything is smooth, in my opinion. But the map size, a lot of people were saying that the map wasn't going to be big enough, but for 88 people, even 100 people, this map is plenty big enough, and it still runs really good with the amount of people and amount of map size that you have. The variety I really like, so like in Fortnite, you get 2 blue ARs, you get the legendary scars, and then you get the burst rifles. So pretty much 4 ARs. In this, you get all the rifles that are in the multiplayer game, which is pretty awesome, and then you get all the attachments. So what mostly in Call of Duty now, the maps are usually so small you don't get to use like 4x scope, ACOGs, and all that kind of stuff. Well, in this you kind of have to, because the engagements are usually at a longer range. You kind of have to find and pick and choose what scopes that you like the best. Because just running around with a red dot sight the entire time is probably not going to do you too well. You can see on this clip here, the map is so big and the engagements are so long. Like, pretty much the engagement is with somebody right now that I can't even see at this point. But we end up moving up. But yeah, so you get to kind of see what scopes you like the best, and you kind of get to use things that you normally wouldn't use in the multiplayer game itself. I thought that was pretty cool. The wingsuits are just badass, even though you only get to use them when you jump out of the planes, and every now and again when you're jumping off a building. The wingsuits are fun as hell to use. I think they're really cool. And me personally, I like Fortnite, but the building would just drive me crazy sometimes. So obviously Call of Duty would never put building in the game, but I'm glad that's not a thing. So the things that I dislike, what I was saying about the looting is, if instead of having to like look down so much, they just put like a line, or have the item on the ground, and then the white line that comes up, they should make, to hit X, they should make it even with your face, pretty much, so you can just walk straight without having to bend down to pick it up, if that makes sense. That's all I really changed with the looting. The equipment and stuff is really not that hard when you get used to it. You have RB, LB, and you use a D-pad to switch everything. It's really not that difficult. Like with the guns, if you wanted a gun That's a different gun, but you want to save all your attachments. You just hit start and then scroll to your gun at the top, and when you hold X, it detaches all the attachments and drops the gun. So you pick up the new gun and pick up all the attachments for it. It's really simple. I feel like, you know, not being on PC makes it a little more difficult, but as far as they could, I feel like they did a good job, being that it's just with an Xbox controller. I feel like it's pretty simple and it works really well. I feel like the armor, you know, I know they have to have armor because you can't just have, you know, everybody with 150 health, because everybody would die way too fast. The armor just, it takes forever to kill. I don't know if they're going to tone it back. I guess I'm just saying I would tune the armor back a little bit. I know, what is it? I think the level 1, 2, and 3 give you 40, 50, and 60% damage reduction. I would probably lower them. Maybe each 10%, maybe each 20, I don't know. Maybe 10%, I guess. Because level 3 armor, it's just, you know, they're just bullet sponges. It feels like I'm playing, you know, a boss in goddamn fucking Tom Clancy The Division or something. They just eat so many bullets. It's tough to get used to, I guess. But just tone that back. I don't think they should get rid of armor because that would be silly, but just do some tuning with the armor. I didn't really, you know, not that I don't like it. I feel like they need to tune it a little bit. I feel like the vehicles have way too much health. Me and my buddies were shooting at like trucks and helicopters, and these damn things just wouldn't die. Like, and we're not like super far away from them either. You know, I feel like the vehicles just have way too much health. If you get caught driving a vehicle, you shouldn't just be able to drive a vehicle around for no reason and not take punishment for it. Especially when you're driving in front of a group of 4 people. I think that's just silly. But for the most part, overall, I've had a lot of fun with this. All my buddies have had a lot of fun with this. You know, with Fortnite and like PUBG, you know, it's just not familiar to them. The engine's just different, and the game just runs differently overall. Even though Fortnite does run smooth, it's not a problem at all in Fortnite. But I mean, everybody who's played Call of Duty is used to this already. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to get used to the settings. You don't have to get used to, you know, the gunplay. Everything is the same as pretty much Call of Duty's been for however long, and it just makes it easy to pick up and do it right away. So I feel like it's very friendly for people who just want to pick it up and do it. This guy gets fucked. But you know, I feel like it's definitely a lot of fun. If you're looking for a battle royale with no building, I feel like there's no reason that you should be playing PUBG at this point, unless you're looking for, like I said, a military simulation, which, you know, at that point, it's still, you know, I just don't. PUBG on Xbox is just not optimized at all. It's just not at all. So I just feel like there's no reason to play that over this unless you're looking for something that's like simulation. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. Hopefully y'all are too. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, click the thumbs down button. If you did, you know what to do.
All objectives complete. Stand down.